Allied Health 224 students, I'm going to give you hopefully a 5 or 6 minute overview of Unit 4. So let's get in there. And I just want to make quick mention of the fact that you are meant to be listening to the podcast, watching the lecture video, and reading the chapter before you complete the discussion. That has not been happening in some cases. And one of the examples of that was this past unit. Many students didn't discuss the public health system after reading the chapter on public health. So from this point on, I will be a little stricter about deducting points if I clearly see that you're not answering the question according to this pre-work that you were supposed to do. Okay, so we've got 2 chapters as usual, very important chapters, one on health and behavior, the second on vulnerable populations. Same type of work. In the Chapter 7 discussion, you are going to choose one of the behavioral risk factors. You're going to talk about the things that get in the way of doing the healthy thing around that risk factor. Okay, so for example, besides what I call education and determination, what makes it difficult, for instance, to become more physically active? So what are other factors besides knowing and being determined to change that can get in the way of doing the right thing? I think it's really important that we understand that change is difficult, and if we want to help the population at large, we need to eliminate some of the barriers to that change. And we need to facilitate the change by opening up or increasing the factors that do favor that change. So think hard about this, okay? The next discussion is about the healthcare disparities that we see in the United States. You have a fact sheet here that you're going to read. You must read it carefully, then choose a racial or ethnic group in this fact sheet, on this fact sheet, and then study the data. Decide on the 3 to 5 disparities that you think need urgent attention and an action plan to lessen that disparity. Okay, so for each of those 3 to 5, you need to say what needs to happen in our healthcare system, in our built environment, in our pricing of food, whatever it might be, that would lessen that disparity. Okay, back again to the module. You'll have the test as usual. You have a critical thinking that again uses Canopy. So you're going to go to Canopy. You're going to watch a 31-minute video that has the title Becoming American and answer the questions about that documentary. Then you're going to dig in once again to some data and information. Okay, you'll choose one of these behavioral risk factors and tell me which one you've chosen. And then you're going to review the data that comes out of the Community Health Explorer, that comes out of your textbook, that comes out of other reliable sources. But what you're going to do in the space below is summarize the impact of that risk factor, focusing on the Philadelphia region. Okay, so whatever you chose, you need to summarize that after you do the research. Then using the population-based intervention model described in your textbook, you're going to outline a plan to address that risk factor. So that model uses downstream, midstream, and upstream interventions. So read about that for sure, and then determine that plan. Finally, we're beginning our course project work in Unit 4. You need a topic and a plan for your research, but the best place to start is probably by reviewing what the final product will be, and that's the course project due June 27th. You are going to make an online bulletin board using Padlet on a topic that is a current issue or trend in healthcare. So I'm going to show you a really nice one that the students said I could share. This is meant to be read, watched in 12 to 15 minutes. It should have a variety of types of posts in, and all should be from reliable sources, with you summarizing information that comes from longer research articles, books, etc. So there should be a title and a summary for each of your posts. Now, what you should do at the beginning is probably to read the rubric, because there's an extensive rubric about this final project. You can only use one video. You can have between 6 and 12 posts, no fewer, no more. They should be high value. It should be you must have APA citations or links to the sources. Everything must be reliable and evidence-based. And look, the information must come from the past 5 years. So be sure to read over the rubric. Now, for this unit, you are going to choose a topic and you're going to outline your plan for your research. Your topic has to be related to the healthcare system in some way. It can't be only a health topic like obesity or diabetes. It must be from the perspective of the healthcare system. So it could be how medical health homes improve management of blood sugar in patients with diabetes, or why the cost of medications is so high in the United States. So it has to be an issue in our healthcare system or a trend, okay? And I'll let you know if the topic is not approved, certainly. From this point on, we'll be working a little bit on the assignment each unit. So you'll have an assignment for the project for each unit. Okay, let me know if you have any questions.